So here we are in the design cycle template, and I just want to review how you might go about being able to make an explicit connection in terms of the technology you chose and how you can talk about it through that TPAC framework. Um, After you've come in and made a copy here and shared it with me, renamed it Design Cycle 1 along with your name, you'll be filling out this template. Um, let's just move down here to this idea of being explicit about TPAC. I am going to move over to this graphic because I think it helps remind us that in terms of TPAC, we're talking about content knowledge, pedagogy, and technology. Now, of course, all of these intersections here. I'm going to use the example of why just recently I asked you to look back at your KWL and that I invited you to share one of the takeaways from the course and one of your curiosities in Flipgrid. And I was really intentional about picking that technology and when I am going into this area and filling out the connection to TPAC, I'll want to be able to explain that part of the pedagogical thinking for me in that was that it would be if we were in a synchronous environment and physically together, I would want you to collaborate together to be able to, in a almost turn and talk or pair share way, um, talk about a takeaway and then a curiosity because it was important to me that we as learners in this course could sort of crowdsource answers together. I wanted to emphasize that we all have something to share and we all can be experts in different ways. And so having you just reflect back to me in a way that wasn't sharing with your colleagues, I think wouldn't have been as impactful. So pedagogically, I was thinking about collaboration and about crowdsourcing and the importance of learning from each other in this way. The content knowledge, I wanted you to draw from all of the experiences that you've had so far in the class itself. So my hope was that when you were talking about a takeaway and then a question or curiosity, I'd be able to tell because you were drawing from specific content that was relevant to you because both you were curious about it or it was impactful for you. So that was a formative assessment practice for me and again, to a way to crowdsource together. And I wanted to get that sense because there are multiple ways that you could have gone in, right, and shared the experience with each other. But to get that sense of collaboration and how important you are to each other as classmates and course mates, I thought the visual and the video would get at that sense of that we are collaborators together and probably was the best tool I think that I could pick so that could be a feeling that we indeed are in a class and not just sort of out there on our own in this asynchronous environment. So that's a lot to say about these three things. And I've only given you sort of a small area in terms of this connection, but I kind of walk through the pedagogy, the content knowledge, and the reasoning for picking the technology that you're going to do. So I'm going to share this link too. I'm going to pull back out. Um, I found this person's online portfolio, and I really kind of liked how she, in each one of these tabs, was doing something that's a little similar to what I'm asking you to do in this design cycle. So you can see this was her portfolio assignment. Sorry, her portfolio assignment. And she gives an example about how she feels in the template that's expected of her for this course. Don't know where it comes from, but luckily people share things online like this, right? So she goes through and she points out her fourth grade Common Core standards. She's got her essential question and some of the understandings. Again, aligning it to standards, pretty detailed in this way. She is looking at assessment and that what she's interested in doing it in terms of a performance task here, right? So that feels like it's more of a summative than a formative piece to me. And then she's got her learning plan. Notice that she's using Book Creator here. She's reflecting, she shares her materials, and then she has an artifact. So I just found it interesting that she looks at her own practice through the TPAC lens. But I just wanted you to know that you could come back in here if you were interested and see some of the things that she was sharing in terms of the work that she's done. And again, some of these lesson plans I thought were interesting to maybe give you some ideas about what you'd like to do in terms of your design cycle. So yeah, I'll link that onto the the module and maybe even in this template as you go forward. She's inspired me in a couple of ways too. So I hope this helped. And please, if you're struggling in any way about how to fill any of these in, get in direct contact with me. But sharing even a rough draft is a perfect way to get us started to be able to collaborate around making sure that this summative performance task meets all of the proficiencies. Okay, thanks. Good luck.